My mom banned me from her party for looking off next to my sister's boyfriend. She had no idea I was his boss. I never thought I'd be the kind of person to post something like this, but I can't stop thinking about it, and maybe putting it into words will help. So, my mom turned 60 last weekend. Big milestone. She planned this classy garden party at a rented venue just outside of town. She'd been talking about it for weeks: rose, string lights, a catered brunch, the whole deal. I wasn't super hyped, but it was her day, so I cleared my schedule, bought a new dress, and made a hair appointment. A few days before the party, my phone buzzed. It was a text from my mom: "Hey sweetie, I think maybe it's better if you skip the party. I love you, but it's just optics. You and Claire side by side, it throws things off." I read it twice, thinking it had to be a joke. Claire is my younger sister. Blonde, tall, model thin. Always been the golden one. We don't have beef exactly, but we're not close either. She's mom's favorite, I've accepted that. But this? This was something else. I called her. Straight to voicemail. I texted, "What the hell do you mean by throws things off? I already bought a dress." She replied a few minutes later, "Don't make this a thing. It's just, your style is a bit alternative, and Claire's bringing her fiancé's family. First impressions, you know. My style? I wear black. I have a nose ring. I'm not a walking hot topic ad, I'm a damn graphic designer with a steady job and a clean apartment. Just because I don't look like I walked out of a bridal catalog doesn't mean I'm some kind of embarrassment." I didn't reply. I couldn't. I sat in my kitchen staring at the green tiles and suddenly felt like I was 12 again, standing next to Claire in matching dresses Mom had picked, watching her fuss with Claire's hair while telling me to just stand still and try not to slouch. The worst part? I hadn't told my partner yet. We were supposed to go together. He was the one who encouraged me to make up with my mom after a rough patch earlier this year. I didn't know how to explain to him that my mom thought I didn't look right next to my sister. That sentence haunted me. I ended up telling my partner, Eli, that night. We were eating takeout on the couch when I said, "So, slight change of plans. We're not going to my mom's birthday." He looked up mid-bite. "What? Why not?" I gave him the shortest version I could manage. He didn't say anything at first. Just stared at me like he was trying to figure out if I was messing with him. Then, "She uninvited you, because of how you look." I nodded, already feeling embarrassed even though I'd done nothing wrong. Eli leaned back, his jaw tensing. "That's disgusting." "I know," I said quickly, trying to play it down. "It's whatever. I shouldn't be surprised." But I was. No matter how many times my mom had hinted I should try a little blush or maybe straighten my hair for once, this was the first time she outright excluded me. For appearances. I spent Saturday morning doing what I usually do when I need to disconnect: cleaning. I reorganized the pantry. Scrubbed the tile grout with a toothbrush. Eli offered to take me out, distract me, but I said no. I wanted to be alone with it. Around 3 p.m., I got a text from my cousin Jules, who was at the party. "Hey, are you okay? I didn't see you here. Did something happen?" I just replied, "Wasn't invited." 3 dots appeared. Then nothing. 5 minutes later, another text came through. "Claire's showing off her ring to everyone like she's royalty. Your mom told someone you were feeling under the weather." Seriously? That did something to me. I'm not sure if it was rage or sadness, but it felt hot and sharp. I opened Instagram and checked Claire's story. There it was: champagne, pastel dresses, a slow pan across the party tables, and my mom smiling big between Claire and her fiancé. There was even a photo captioned, "Couldn't ask for a more perfect day, sparkling heart." I wasn't even a footnote. Not even a mention. Not "missed," not "wished you were here." Nothing. That night, something inside me just snapped. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed, eyes wide open, replaying every moment where I'd bent to make my mom feel comfortable. Every family dinner where I toned myself down. Every comment I let slide, "That's just how she is," I used to say. But this? This was her telling me that I was too much to be seen next to her ideal daughter. That I didn't match the aesthetic. That my presence ruined the photo. Sunday morning, I called her. I didn't plan to, but my thumb hit her name, and before I could think, I heard the ringtone. She picked up on the second ring. "Hi, sweetie." "Sweetie. Don't call me that," I said flatly. A pause. "Is everything okay? You tell me, Mom. You kicked me out of your birthday party because I didn't look right next to Claire." She sighed, like I was already exhausting her. "I didn't kick you out. I just thought maybe, you thought I'd ruin your pictures." "Don't be dramatic," she snapped. "It wasn't personal." I actually laughed. "Not personal. You uninvited your own daughter. You don't understand how these things work. Claire's fiancé comes from a very polished family. It's not about you, it's about the impression we give." "And I ruined the image," I said. "Because I'm not Claire. Because I have a damn personality. You always twist things into attacks." I stared at the floor. "You didn't even check in. You just lied and said I was sick." Another pause. I thought that would be kinder than the truth. There it was. The truth, from her lips. I hung up. I blocked her number 5 minutes later. Not out of spite. But because I needed to stop letting her back in, every time she dressed cruelty up as etiquette. That was the moment I realized I didn't miss being at that party. What I missed was the version of a mom I never actually had. Word got around faster than I expected. My aunt called me Monday morning. Her voice was low, careful. "Honey, I just wanted to check in. Your mom told me what happened, but I'd like to hear your side." I told her everything. She didn't interrupt once. When I was done, there was a long silence, and then she said, "I'm not surprised. But I am sorry." I think that's when I realized how many people in our family have just quietly tolerated her behavior. We all just adjusted to her standards. Some of us disappeared to make room for her curated life. A few hours later, I got a DM from Claire. "Hey. I didn't know she uninvited you. I found out at the party and I was shocked." I stared at the message, unsure if I should believe her. She'd looked happy enough in the videos. I replied, "Doesn't matter now. It's done." She responded quickly. "It does matter." I told her it was messed up. We argued. I even left early. For a moment, I felt a flicker of something, maybe closure. Maybe not. But at least someone said something. Then she sent another message. "She was crying after you called. Said you were cruel to her." And just like that, the flicker went out. I didn't respond. Because no matter how many tears she cried afterward, it didn't erase the fact that she'd chosen her perfect garden party over her own child. Eli took me out that night. We didn't talk much, just walked by the river until the sun dipped behind the trees. At one point he said, "You know, you're not the one who doesn't belong." And I don't know why, but I almost started crying right there. Because for the first time in years, I think I finally believed that. It's been 3 weeks. I haven't spoken to my mom since that call. She's tried, texts, voicemails, even sending me a picture of the birthday cake with, "Wish you'd been there," written underneath. I didn't reply. I don't plan to. I'm done performing for a seat at a table I was never really welcome at. What surprised me the most was how quiet things became when I stopped chasing her approval. No more stomach knots when the phone buzzes. No more mental dress rehearsals before family gatherings. Just, space. To be who I am without apology. My cousin Jules invited me over last weekend. She made sangria, and we sat on her porch laughing for hours. At one point, she said, "I always thought you were the cool one. You know that, right?" I didn't. Not really. But hearing it out loud felt like a door cracking open somewhere. Claire messaged me again, too. She said she's rethinking some things. Said she saw a different side of Mom that weekend. Maybe she'll figure things out. Maybe not. That's her journey. As for me, I deleted the photos I'd taken of the dress I never wore. And then I bought concert tickets. Just one night, just for me and Eli. It's nothing fancy, but it's loud, messy, and completely unfiltered, everything I wasn't allowed to be. And this time, no one's uninviting me. Not even in their mind. About a month later, I got an invitation in the mail. It was cream-colored, thick, expensive cardstock, Claire's engagement party. Hosted by Mom, of course. Gold script, RSVP requested. I stared at it for a while. Not because I was surprised, but because of what was written at the bottom: formal attire. Family portraits to be taken. There it was again. The unspoken expectation. Dress the part. Fit the frame. I didn't even feel anger this time. Just clarity. I texted Claire, "Congrats. I won't be attending. But I hope it's everything you want it to be." She responded within minutes. "I understand. Really. And I'm sorry again. For all of it. I appreciated that. I still didn't go. Instead, Eli and I took a weekend trip. Small mountain town, foggy mornings, coffee that tasted like cinnamon and campfires. We stayed in a cabin with a record player and a stack of old jazz vinyl. I left my phone on airplane mode. While they took their portraits, I was standing on a rocky cliff, arms out, wind in my face. No makeup. No dress code. No stage directions. Just me. And for the first time in my entire life, that was enough. 2 weeks after the engagement party, Claire showed up at my apartment. No warning. Just a knock, and then there she was, standing in the hallway in jeans and a hoodie, no makeup, her hair tied back in a messy bun. Not a version of her I saw often. I let her in. She didn't sit right away. She paced a little, then finally said, "Can I ask you something? And I want you to be honest." I nodded. "Do you think I'm like her?" It hit harder than I expected. Because she wasn't asking lightly. "I think you've been raised to see things the way she sees them," I said carefully. "But I don't think you're beyond changing." She looked down at her hands. I felt like a prop at that party. Like I was just part of the scene she wanted to stage. Her perfect family. But when I looked around, half the people there weren't even people she talks to anymore. It was all for show. "Exactly," I said. "That's why I didn't go." She was quiet a long time. Then, "I'm thinking about calling it off." "The wedding." I blinked. "Seriously?" Claire nodded slowly. "He's great. But it's not about him. It's about realizing I don't even know who I am outside of her approval. I always thought I was doing what I wanted, but now I'm not so sure. I wasn't expecting that." She looked at me, eyes glassy. "You were always the strong one. They just made you feel like the problem because you didn't play the game." I didn't know what to say to that. She stayed for coffee. We didn't talk about Mom again. Just shared stories, real ones. Things we'd never said out loud. And for the first time in a long, long time, it felt like we weren't standing on opposite sides of a line anymore. A few days after Claire's visit, I got a letter in the mail. Not an invitation this time. An actual handwritten letter. From my mom. The envelope was pale pink with my name written in cursive across the front, like she was still trying to stage the aesthetic. I almost threw it away, but something made me open it. Inside were 2 pages, written in blue ink. Her handwriting was careful, like she was trying not to sound angry. It started with the usual, "I know you're upset. I never meant to hurt you." Then it spiraled. "You've always had a rebellious streak, and I just wanted one day that was smooth. One day where everyone looked like they belonged together. Maybe that was wrong of me. But I don't think you understand how hard I worked to make that party perfect. And yes, I admit I thought your presence might distract from that. I didn't think it would become this big." That word. Distract. She still didn't get it. She was sorry I was mad, but not sorry for what she did. Not really. The last paragraph read, "Your sister came to me crying, saying she might cancel her wedding. I hope you're not influencing her. You've always been so convincing, even when you're wrong. This family doesn't need more distance. We need to come together." I folded the letter in half and slid it back into the envelope. Claire wasn't being influenced. Claire was finally thinking for herself. And Mom couldn't handle it. Later that night, I told Eli everything. He listened quietly, then said, "You know, some people don't want to understand. They want to win." He was right. I never wrote back. But I left the letter on the shelf by my desk, not as a keepsake, more like evidence. A reminder of how far I've come, and how far she still refuses to go. Claire called me 2 nights later. No small talk. I ended it. I sat up straight on the couch. "The wedding?" She took a shaky breath. "Yeah. I told him I need time. Not just from him, but from all of it. From Mom. From the narrative." I didn't say anything right away, because I could hear the mix in her voice, fear, grief, and strangely, peace. "I think I've been living in her story," she said. "She told me who to be, what to wear, who to love. And I was so busy playing the part that I forgot to ask if it fit." There was a long silence between us, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It felt like we were both staring into the same mirror for the first time. "She lost control of us," I finally said. "That's why she's panicking." Claire laughed, but it wasn't happy. "She came to my apartment after I told him. Showed up with her hair done and a casserole, like we were in some 1950s soap opera. She kept saying I'd regret it, that you were poisoning me." I winced. Of course she did. But then she said something that really stuck. Claire paused. She said, "At least I still have one daughter who makes me proud." I swallowed hard. Claire's voice broke. "She meant me. But I don't think I want to be that daughter anymore." I felt tears sting my eyes, but I held them back. "You don't have to be anything for her," I said. "You never did." "I know," she whispered. "I just wish someone had told us that sooner." Claire called me 2 nights later. No small talk. I ended it. I sat up straight on the couch. "The wedding?" She took a shaky breath. "Yeah. I told him I need time. Not just from him, but from all of it. From Mom. From the narrative." I didn't say anything right away, because I could hear the mix in her voice, fear, grief, and strangely, peace. "I think I've been living in her story," she said. "She told me who to be, what to wear, who to love. And I was so busy playing the part that I forgot to ask if it fit." There was a long silence between us, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It felt like we were both staring into the same mirror for the first time. "She lost control of us," I finally said. "That's why she's panicking." Claire laughed, but it wasn't happy. "She came to my apartment after I told him. Showed up with her hair done and a casserole, like we were in some 1950s soap opera. She kept saying I'd regret it, that you were poisoning me." I winced. Of course she did. But then she said something that really stuck. Claire paused. She said, "At least I still have one daughter who makes me proud." I swallowed hard. Claire's voice broke. She meant me. But I don't think I want to be that daughter anymore. I felt tears sting my eyes, but I held them back. "You don't have to be anything for her," I said. "You never did." "I know," she whispered. "I just wish someone had told us that sooner." The last time I saw my mom was 3 weeks after Claire called off the engagement. She invited both of us to dinner, neutral ground, she claimed. Just to talk things through. Claire and I agreed to go together, more out of curiosity than hope. We met her at a quiet restaurant downtown. She was already seated, dressed like she was meeting a senator. Makeup perfect, posture rigid. She smiled too wide when she saw us. "I'm glad you came," she said, folding her hands like we were about to mediate a property dispute. Claire and I stayed silent. We let her talk. She started with a story about how hard motherhood had been. How no one gave her a manual. How she only ever wanted us to be safe, successful, admired. Then she pivoted. "I admit I've made some mistakes," she said, looking directly at me. "But I think it's time to stop blaming the past. I want my daughters back." I took a sip of water before replying. "You don't want us back. You want the version of us that doesn't challenge you." Claire added, "We're not those girls anymore, Mom. You don't get to guilt us into performing for you." Her smile thinned. "I gave you both everything," she said quietly. "No," I said. "You gave us conditions. And we've finally stopped accepting them." We paid our half of the bill and left before dessert. That night, Claire and I walked the city streets together. We weren't saying much, but everything had already been said. For the first time, we weren't roles in someone else's story, we were just two women figuring things out on our own terms. She nudged me playfully. "You know, if we threw a birthday party for ourselves, it'd be way cooler." "Obviously," I laughed. "Black clothes, loud music, no judgment." "No, Mom. No, Mom." We both laughed harder than we should have. And it felt good. It felt free.